we should, in my opinion. And because there are so many people out there, and I appreciate what you said about addictions. There's everything from, it's the alcoholism or the drug abuse, or you can be somebody who gambles too much or purchases too much, or, there's just mine is a mental addiction. And it's so funny how, um, I have these conversations with you. I have this little show going on. And the reason why I asked you about recovery and recovered is because I thought I was recovered. I thought I was done having the self pity and the getting inside my head and the blame, shame, and guilt and what I thought I was done, and I'm not. I'm not. And so it's a daily exercise that I have to do as well, Todd. Um, it, I know it's different, but it is, to me, if you can do that to your brain, it is as harmful as, taking a drug or drinking too much alcohol. I think things in my head like, if I never would have done that, I've done that to myself. If I just would have, and the woulda, coulda, shouldas, I mean, to me, are as poisonous as, any other kind of substance. And I was telling you how I feel so much better, Todd. I was telling you I was in a little bit of a funk this morning, and it almost felt like I didn't feel well, like I was like a upset stomach or just off, just odd, And I thought, boy, how am I going to get through my day and that kind of thing. And like when I was doing my stretches and my exercises, I'm like, this just isn't feeling like me. And I'd had that dream I told you that I couldn't shake. And it wasn't a nice dream. It was a bad dream, and it made me feel funny. And when I talk to you and you say the things to me that you do about, we're here, and I mean, you just helped me come out of that funk. So it's a daily exercise and chore that I have to get through. And I'm not being self-pity, and I'm not saying, oh, woe is Bev and she did bad things in her life, but in another way I am. And that I do have to work through that so that I can be here for the purpose of which I possibly was created.
Yes, I mean, I have. I was taught this, and it's also written in the text that I use. I have a daily reprieve. My daily reprieve is contingent on the maintenance of my spiritual condition. That means I got to maintain it. That means I got to work on it every day. That means I'm not perfect. That means I'm a quick forgetter, and I like to take my will back all the time. And I do. And it never works out for me, so I got to go back. But I also have the freedom to start my day over whenever I feel like it. That is my choice. I have that choice today. I didn't have that choice before. No.
You get to start your day over whenever you feel like it.
Yes.
I like that. I love that. Yeah. I love that. That's like my restart. I get to push reset, but I really like that one. I will probably put that right by my desk at work.
That's almost like I like being wrong. It takes the pressure off.
Oh my God. Is that funny?
I mean,
it is. And let me tell you something. Here's something I struggle with. If I come up with an idea at work and I share that idea with someone, and then that person goes and does the idea but doesn't say, hey, Bev and I thought of this. Todd, that's happened to me twice in the last month, and I'm sitting here right now and it bothers me. Because I've never I don't do that. I don't even, first of all, I don't like to work as a team. I don't like it. When I'm at work, I'm serious. Group projects at school, I hated them. Just let me do it. I don't know what my problem is. I've worked on it all these years. So, as I'm working on that, and I say, hey, why don't we just do this? And then right across the table, somebody says, well, why don't we do this? And it was my idea. What's wrong with me? I'm telling you that eats me up. And now I just am trying to let go and just, okay, you put your idea out in the universe. Somebody took it. It's fine. It's them that took your idea, and they've got to deal with that. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yes, it's a very common thing, especially amongst wrestlers with control issues. I have them. Can't stand it. Drives me insane sometimes. It's like that guy on that Bud Light commercial years ago. They said there's no I in team, and he said, well, there's no we either. You know, and so it's it's
Oh man, that's funny.
to be willing to change. You got to be uncomfortable, and working with others, and of course, and we might be so, but we always think our ideas are better, our thoughts are better, but that's our perception of us and how we view things. We also got to take into consideration of others and their perception of life, how they view others, how they view themselves. Where could this idea come from? And that's where it comes down to having trying to find a common denominator to solve your problem. But I like to fight tooth and nail until I'm right.
Well, I
Or
don't
until you
even.
quit or give up.
Yeah, but see, it's okay. Seriously, that whole wrong
Even in my
thing,
head.
I'm really becoming good at that. I'm just like, I'll just sit there and I will not say a word. It's like I don't know what it is, and it's freedom. It is absolutely freeing. And while we joke about it and say that, because that is funny, because we've been fighting so hard all our lives to be right and to be heard. That doesn't get me as much as somebody taking my idea and making it theirs and they got glory for it. I don't know if it's because I was the youngest of seven and always trying to get attention in one way or the other and hear me, and I have ideas too, whatever it is, man. So, but the point is this: I hate being so dramatic all the time and thinking, if this was your last day on earth, how important would that be? I hate that, but that's my perspective. If you got really sick right now or you had to be in the hospital, how important would that be? And that is the only thing that's getting me through. And I don't know if that's
Well, that's
good.
what I told you that story about that gentleman from Detox. He knew how much time he had left, exactly how long he had left.
Yeah.
And what kind of human being do you want to be defined as? Knowing that. Knowing you have 2 weeks left to live. What are you going to do?
Yeah. Well,
And that man chose to go up and volunteer still to help others, to hopefully they get the gift of recovery before he passes along.
and see,
Not jumping on a plane to Vegas, not going to his family, not nothing. To help others. It's a selfless act. We're not used to that. Like I said, selfish and self-centeredness.
see, that's it. And then that makes it about me. What do I care about that idea if it worked and if somebody took it? What do you care? At least it got done. At least it got taken care of. And you can hear everybody say it was a good idea. They're just not saying that was a good idea, Bev. So see, I'm making it all about me, and I got to let go of that, man. That is ridiculous. It really is. And then I'm beating the hell out of myself right now. I'm telling you.
You just hit the nail on the head. Because when we get that accolade, it releases dopamine in us and makes us feel good.
Yep.
Instead of feeling humble, which is hard. They say humble pie doesn't taste good, right? It was your idea. You know that. That idea is between you and God. and it's going about it, but it's just the fact of exactly what you just said. It's because they didn't say, good job, Bev.
Yep. I love that.
Ain't that something?
I love that, though.
It's as simple as just like you were talking about how you weren't feeling well. In the human body, just the most amazing thing that a thought or an emotion can make us physically ill.
Yep. It's true.
Crazy.
It is. And that is, and I guess I look at this and I take it a little bit more serious because I know this. I'm not alone. And if we can start working on ourselves to not get caught up in that, to see that, see, I'm always at work. And I thought, like I said, I thought I was over those 2 bad years of blame, shame, and guilt and isolation. I thought I was past that. I'm not to that level, but I'm working on. I have to work on that place so I can keep Bev in check, so that I can do the greater good that I'm here for, that I was put here for. So, thanks, Mr. Therapist, getting me through that. I mean, it's, you know what? And here's the thing, Todd. If this show does nothing else, it's my hope that it makes somebody feel less lonely, less odd, that they think they're the only ones feeling, because for the most part, to look at me, I'm pretty damn healthy. I'm very lucky. I've got, I count my blessings. I've got my girls. I've got my home. I've got Tim, a job. You look at all those things and it looks pretty damn good. And it's like, why do you feel this way? How could you possibly allow yourself to feel that way? And I'm glad and I'm thankful for prayer and just, God. And sometimes it's just, God, get you listening, get me through this.
Oh, yeah. At the end of be all, it's all we got.
I don't know. I do not know where I would be without the scripture, books, prayer. I don't. I've been alone and on my knees a lot in these recent years.
Mm-hmm.
I had a weird thing happen from there was after my divorce. I was seeing someone and I had purchased just an old boat, and oh my gosh, I think we had it in the water a few times, and obviously, boats break down, and that's where it sat, and it was in his garage, and we've been broken up for quite some time, and I had always talked about just turning the title over to him, and it just time went by, and it's starting to get stupid, and I still had the title, and I get a message, and he's like, you can send that title anytime you want. I'm like, you know what? It's time. I went to the title bureau, got it transferred over, put it, and I'm telling you, when I let go of that envelope, there were 2 things that happened. One, freedom, that there was no other stupid tie that was like laying around. But the other thing, I was like, I thought I probably should have got some money for this. But then, Todd, what's wrong with us? And so I know it was like Tommy. I let go of it. I let it drop into that big old, blue mailbox. And as I pulled away, I was like, God, that felt so good. But at the same time, I felt like I had lost, like I should have got some money or done a better business transaction. Isn't that dumb? I mean, it's been sitting there for years, broken down. What's wrong?
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with me? What the hell's wrong with me? Why did I feel that way?
Entitlement.
Oh.
It's a sense of entitlement, and what you really wanted was probably more so for him to feel bad or hurt because you were. Hurt people, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Can I tell you something? Hurt at this stage was not there. It was more like I was, because I'm kind of blank with him, Like, I'm not mean. I'm not angry. It's